You're listening to The Joe Cronin Show, a wrestling podcast with attitude.
Attitude. You got to have attitude because nobody else is going to have attitude, especially in WWE anymore. Good afternoon. We are getting ready for the Stanley Cup Game 7 hockey tonight. So I will be doing that. Just a reminder. Out of Nowhere may start a little bit later than usual because of that. Because I'm going to be probably either angry and drunk or very, very happy and drunk. One of those two things will probably happen. Road Dogg sat down recently with X-Pac on his podcast that he does with those AfterBuzz losers. And that was great. I love X-Pac. I love Road Dogg. Road Dogg gave us some really great insights on this. I highly recommend you check it out. It's a good long podcast. Give those Maria Menounos suck-ups with their little buzzing bee microphones a listen so you can hear the good stuff, I guess, because that's how things go. People ask me why I'm so bitter towards things like that, and the reason why I'm so bitter is because I couldn't get myself in the wrestling business, really. But the one thing I did have was I was able to cover wrestling on YouTube. But now in the last 4 years, especially the last 4 years, and especially the last 2 years, every wrestler and their mother is able to start up a show now. And obviously they're going to instantly become more credible than people like me who spent, 8 years building this on my own with no name before it. So it kind of sucks. But that's why I'm irritated by things like that. Plus, I can never get anybody on the show, but that could be because I'm an asshole. So that could be why that is. But Road Dogg would go on to say that he produced the match between Roderick Strong and Matt Riddle, and that would prompt me to say, wow, Road Dogg, damn, that's why that match was so good, man. You did a great job producing it. And then Road Dogg would go on to say, and I produced it by telling them, go get it. I'm not helping at all. I'll be making the TV. I'll be making you look good on TV. You guys do whatever you want. So, but honestly, that's the best idea with those guys. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? You can hear what they're going to do, and maybe you can I think you can throw some things out there. But that match was, I believe, Matt Riddle's best match in NXT so far that I've seen. So, hey, screw it. Whatever it is, it worked. So check that out. AEW announced the signing of the Perfect 10. Shawn Spears, formerly Ty Dillinger. He has been signed. Got the news on Twitter. Got the news via Wrestling Inc., who pretends like I don't exist. I could probably find out tomorrow that Shawn Spears, murdered somebody in 1982. And also likes to collect the organs of dolphins. And I could break that, and the Wrestling Inc. still wouldn't put the news up there. I just made all that up, obviously. He never did that. But, I mean, I'm just making it up. I could get Jon Moxley in an interview where he says that Vince McMahon smells in the morning. And they would not post that news because my name's on it. So that's very funny. I think it's because a while back when they were doing their little stuff, they were like, oh, man, our news articles don't do as well as this guy's YouTube channel. And then they tried to do videos themselves, and so then they saw it as competition. They were like, let's not promote that. So they really don't promote too many people anymore. It's kind of funny how they work. So I really try to stay away from promoting them, I guess, because I guess they're assholes now. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, let's see what other shade I can throw out at somebody. Mark Henry responds to criticism of The Undertaker versus Goldberg. And listen, I respect the hell out of Mark Henry. Not only Mark Henry a great wrestler in the ring, and a legend, an amazing veteran, but he's been a badass radio guy too. He's been a great listen. He's also been great at questions. Such a good personality, man. I love Mark Henry, but I think while I think some people are being assholes to Goldberg and Undertaker, I think people are just having fun. It's kind of the generation of the meme, right? So everything's a meme now. It's funny. Undertaker dropped him on his head. he hit his head on the post. I've even heard some people making fun of the whole situation who still don't realize that Goldberg knocked himself out. The guy ran into a goddamn screw on the post. I mean, it's pretty crazy. He ran into a friggin' screw on the post. It's crazy. Anyway, with that being said, here's a commercial. I hope you guys watch the whole thing. All right. Hopefully the commercial's over with. I tried to time that one. I don't always time them, but I decided to time them that time. We'll see if it works out. If nothing played for you, then hell yeah, right? I mean, I don't know. And if you've got ad block and you're an asshole, then make sure you become a patron of mine, at least for $1 a month or something. Give something to the show. Because I'm funded by you guys, and that's why I have put so much stuff up on Patreon this past week, and I will continue to, and have stuff recorded in the bank as well. I have more wrestling news, so hang on, don't go anywhere. Take 1 second. Just want to tell you that Morning Madness is up. Questions for the next Morning Madness are up. Me and Dave Rose's podcast is over an hour long. That's up. My interview with the Hannibal. If everybody remembers Hannibal, he was the guy who had the Hep C. WWE let him go because of it. He sued them. Then they invited him again. He had a match with AJ Styles a couple years ago, a little bit of a shoot in that. A lot of cool things. The Terry Funk slap in the face, broke his eardrum. Morning Madness episode 166. Wow, did I get personal on this one. Lots of talk. That's in the $5 VIP category. My thoughts on Halo and a whole bunch more coming directly to Patreon. I hope you guys can support that over there. But if not, and you can't, enjoy the free content here. Just try to watch the commercials and hit that like button and share the video if you can. Do something. I don't know, man. We're in this war together, goddammit, because YouTube hates me. And YouTube hates all us creators unless we're part of a giant media corporation that wants to suck their ass and push the agenda. Probably just got demonetized for that. But anyway, he says Goldberg deserves the respect. This is going back to Mark Henry. Goldberg deserves the respect that he's earned, said Henry. I agree with you, Henry. He does. But he also deserves the criticism of any other wrestler on a big stage like this. Here's the bottom line. Henry goes on to defend him and go after people and, give him a break, whatever. He deserves respect. They both deserve respect, da-da-da-da-da-da. They get respect. They have my respect. I'm not, dude, what do I know? This is two of the biggest legends that did business that I could never imagine in my life. You know what I'm saying? Here's what happened. They got in the ring. It started pretty fucking good. It started pretty goddamn good compared to what we thought was going to happen, right? Like, this thing started, going, they really did, it was like, wow, this is not bad, for what we expected. Why the fuck does this mic sound weird? Does it sound weird to you guys? I don't know. So they were doing things better than we thought they were going to do them. And then it slowed down as soon as he hit his goddamn head on the post or into the screw, right into that screw that you screw that little stanchion in on the post, right on the ring. So not only did he waffle his head off that post, but he also caught the screw, and that's why he was bleeding everywhere. After that, things weren't right because the guy was concussed. So you can throw it all out the window at that point. Seriously, you can throw the match out the window at that point. So if you want to be honest and judge the guy on the match, there's nothing to judge because the match was a delay. So up until the point where Goldberg gets injured, I'm thinking this is good. I'm like, this is pretty good, man. If they do this for another 3 or 4 minutes and the match ends, I'm happy. But at that point, Goldberg hits the post, and you're like, damn, oh shit, they're going to have blood because maybe this was the plan to have blood, but my God, what happened? And then I'm staring, and I'm like, did he do it the hard way? It looks like he did it the hard way. And then it became evident something was weird, but you couldn't tell if they just executed it really well or not. But then by the end, everybody's like, oh, he's gassed and everything. It's like, no, he's not just gassed, man. He's concussed. He has no center of gravity. You know what I mean? When you get concussed and then you continue to try to play, it's very obvious. You fall, you're disoriented, and then somebody goes, get the hell off the field or get off the ice or get off the whatever. But in wrestling, there's no get out of the ring. I mean, there is, but on the main event in Saudi Arabia for these two guys, I mean, dude, you'd have to kill somebody to get them out of there. You know what I mean? I mean, it was really on the Undertaker and the referee to start to notice what the hell was going on. Now, I don't know what I would have loved to know how much longer the match was supposed to go on. I'm assuming that Undertaker they went into that spot where Undertaker reverses Goldberg into the tombstone, and that was going to be the end of the match, perhaps. But instead, Undertaker, they botched that. So then Undertaker just chokeslammed him. So I actually would argue that they pretty much got in everything they wanted to do. They weren't able to execute it properly because of the heat of their age, but really the biggest reason was because Goldberg was concussed. So everything they did after Goldberg smashed his head was bonus as far as I'm concerned. The match should have been, the referee should have waved off the match. It should have been a no contest or a victory, whatever you want to call it. In a perfectly safe, smart world, that's what would have happened. I'm glad it didn't happen. I hope that there's no long-term repercussions for Goldberg. So while it is funny and fun to make fun of it, and I don't have a problem with people making fun of it because this is just the meme culture. Because even when people meme and they make a joke and they're kind of harsh about Goldberg or Undertaker, you wouldn't say that to the guy. And you don't really believe this. You know what I mean? And certainly not about Undertaker. You know, you can say what you want about Goldberg hurting people because he has before, and now he's fucking hurt himself, you know? How many times Goldberg will hurt himself? That's the thing. Not only has Goldberg hurt so many other people, but Goldberg will hurt his goddamn self. I mean, if you want to have a match with a guy that will fucking hurt himself multiple times, good luck to you, I guess. But, you know, you got to give it to Bill Goldberg for continuing, and you got to give it to Undertaker for trying with him as well. But, you know, it is what it is. It's not really a match. It was a match that ended up with an injury and they had to continue, and so therefore you can't really fairly rate the match. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I will tell you guys straight up, and this is not some kind of suck-up job either. I said this on the review that night. That was my favorite match of the night. Because everything else was so boring and it was like, oh, I've seen this on Raw, I've seen this on SmackDown, I don't care about any of these people. So to me, even with that controversy and that terrible ending, I was still the most interested in that match. And even by the end of the show, that was the match I was talking about. Like, what happened? And, oh my God, the blood in his head. Did he knock himself out? And what went wrong? And Undertaker's pissed, and that was crazy. And how hot was it there, and all these other things. So, honestly, I don't care. I still love that match the best out of any of the matches, which is hilarious, which actually tells you how bad everything else was. I think maybe Seth Rollins, you know, his match was probably maybe the best or one of the second best, whatever. But, you know, I'm just so not into Rollins anymore, man. He sucks on the mic right now. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm gonna burn it down. God, he's so much better as a heel because that voice is heelish. Like, all you people need to know. Like, he was way better as a heel with that voice. I get his likability because, I mean, I like him. But to me, he's like a middle mid-card guy or upper mid-card guy. But instead, he's the guy. I mean, who else would be the guy? Who else is the fucking star? I don't know. Nobody. If Seth ain't there, I don't know who is. Anyway, sign up for my goddamn Patreon where I say a bunch of stupid crap because there's a whole bunch of people on there right now. $5 a month if you'd like. $2 a month will get you the Corrupted podcast and a couple other little things. $5 will get you a whole bunch of shit. $10 will really get you a bunch of shit. We did a big Discord hangout for the Patreon $10 VIPs the other day. And a shout out to the $25 VIPs who make these shows possible. Certainly without the $25 Patreons, you know, I wouldn't be able to do at all what I do. So thanks to the associate producers of the show. If you guys can be a $25 patron, please think about doing it. The people listed below in the associate producer category are $25 a month patrons. So shout out to them for their support, like Arknolia Strokelbean or Austin Caucci. Awonddy Big M, CJ Bradley, Frog Kid, Gary Metzler, Gerald Armstrong, JayyMenAce, Justin McNeil in the Hundy category, STARSCREAM, Mike Gwaz from Brooklyn, Mikey to Crikey, NickY J, Ryan Pelletier, DeGallo, El Gallo, Deoro, SithNegan, Darel. Thank you, SithNegan, at the $100 mark as well. And SoCom Kastle, The Bear, 1322, and Trey Hendrickson. Thank you all for making these shows possible. Every little bit obviously helps, but there's also so much bonus content there. And again, tonight's out of nowhere, maybe a little bit late, depending on how the hockey game goes. If the Bruins are losing 7-0, it will probably start on time with me crying. If the Bruins are winning or win, I'll probably be drunk and smiling. If the Bruins lose, I'll probably be drunk and furious. But either way, out of nowhere tonight, between probably 11 and 11:30 p.m., right here on the Joe Cronin Show, me and Jake DeMarco, and hopefully we'll have Mr. OKFabe in the house as well. We'll take your phone calls. There's a good amount of stuff to talk about, and I can't wait for Stomping Grounds. Are you guys ready for WWE Stomping Grounds? Oh my God, Stomping Grounds. We're going to stomp on something. Oh my God, it's a boot, because there's stomping and there's boots and shoes and boots, and these boots were made for walking, but no, because these boots are made for stomping. Wow, I could, oh my God, Vince McMahon, these boots are made for stomping. Yeah. I bet you he would love to put that tagline on this goofy piece of crap. Here's a bunch of stuff that you guys might have missed on my channel. Here's some videos. And if you want to sign up on Patreon, the top right, the picture right there on the top right, is your link to Patreon, to where we can do whatever the F we want, because YouTube doesn't like our naughtiness. See you tonight for the Out of Nowhere podcast live here on the Joe Cronin Show.